The devs behind the Sims 4 Lovestruck expansion pack are speaking out about the gameplay, and also there's a comment in this interview that tells us about the future of Sims 4 updates and paid content. But if you do happen to be here instead because your pack is broken and you have tons of bugs, I have a different video for you, and I will pin that in the comments section. In the future, as the team releases more packs, new additions will also be available to Lovestruck. This includes turn-ons and turn-offs and many places you can go for a date. I'm going to get back into that comment in just a moment. Now, in addition, the team is also looking forward to building quote-unquote lots of secret stuff. They also mentioned that the team will continue delivering some really exciting updates for years to come. Now, do note it does say the term update, so if you think that's meaningful, let me know in the comments below. But yes, they're still using the phrase years to come. Now, Project Renee could very well come out before that, but it is still important to note that they are not abandoning Sims 4 anytime soon, for better or for worse. Now, the first comment I think has definitely some pros and cons. One good thing is it sounds like they plan to integrate the pack in the future with future DLC. And this is something I think is really important, especially a pack like Lovestruck. I do think it would benefit especially with new packs too. I do think honestly they could retroactively integrate with some other packs we already have. However, the downside I would say is the last phrase. They talk about adding many places you can go for a date, and here's my comment for that. I don't have a problem with adding new places in the future inherently, but I think that that's what the pack should have been in the first place. I think this pack should have come with tons of new venues and things to do on dates, and I've talked about this at length. And so that comment is kind of strange to me because on one hand, yes, of course, we want you to be able to go on dates wherever you want to. No problem with that. But I think it also reflects that this expansion pack really didn't expand the venues and the type of dates you could have. But I do want to go a little bit more into the Lovestruck expansion pack and what they were thinking behind the design. We wanted to do a pack that was inspired by modern dating and modern romance. Do you remember that from the 2020 survey? I sure do. Obviously, apps are a big part of people's lives, so we wanted to build Cupid's Corner. Now, I will say I understand why they did an app for this pack. I just hope we get a break from social media apps in Sims 4. I think it's kind of out of hand, and unfortunately, they don't have a good track record with them working properly. They talked about the concepts, of course, of romantic satisfaction, not everyone feeling the same way about a relationship. So the whole idea is that I could be really happy with something and the other person's not really feeling, and that adds a ton of nuance. We'll say the base game update that I played around with, I am actually pleased with. I know people have mixed opinions on it, but I actually think that the base game update did add a little bit of nuance. Does it feel like Sims 4 is a totally new game? Absolutely not. However, it is working as intended, at least for me, and I am noticing some more interesting dynamics, so definitely a plus from that end. Now, another thing that people are excited about, at least initially, for this pack was the new world, and I would love to hear in the comments below what you think about the new world, because honestly, I haven't heard many people talk about it. They said our players are coming from all over the world, and we're making more deliberate decisions to bring more diverse worlds to life. Many of the team members were from Mexico, and they were really excited to bring this particular world to life for The Sims 4. Typically, when we see global regions being represented in the West, they tend to be more traditional or just from a different time. Knowing how The Sims 4 players come from modern locations and big cities, the team wanted to make sure they could capture some really fun places. If you're from there, you can see where those locations are being inspired from, and if you're not, you get to learn something new. So yes, I definitely am all for getting non-US based worlds, and I think it was great. I'm not so sure this got all the love, no pun intended, that it deserved in this pack, but do I want them to continue to explore other regions? Absolutely. And this one actually caught me by surprise because it was not on that 2020 survey. Now, they also claim they talked a lot about the nuance that went into this pack. They have a space for the team to have conversations, giving them tools to go really deep and think about the psychosocial perspective of these topics. Not only that, but the team also had to take these and make them in a very simple way, something easier said than done. We want to make sure we've created a space where the team can be curious and ask questions. Now, in theory, this does sound good. Of course, you want a team with good and open communication, but my theory is they're often held back. In other words, I do think they often come up with decent ideas. They're held back by Sims 4's programming, and I've discussed this at length in other videos as well. However, there is a part of this interview I definitely agree with. They mentioned that there's kind of a slow burn to the pack. In other words, this is kind of one of those packs where you can integrate it with other gameplay, and it's not simply you just play it through. I know people might argue one way or the other, but I would classify Lovestruck closer to a pack like Seasons or Growing Together. Now, before you jump on me for saying that, I do not think it is as good as a value. I do not think it is as good of execution whatsoever as those other two packs. What I'm saying is, because of the general theme and the way it just naturally integrates with other gameplay, yes, it is a pack that it's not just you go and do things like, say, Jungle Adventure. However, I do think a lot could have been done for Lovestruck to make it more of that kind of a pack. Like I said, if you're adding a dating system, add more things to do with dates. I also think there could have been more complexity overall, more conflict, but I usually say this for Sims 4 packs. All in all, I just care they get the bugs fixed for Lovestruck. That is my main concern right now. We did get a patch a while ago, so hopefully we will get one sometime soon. Take care, be kind to each other, and I'll see you in the next one.